You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business worried about what I'm doing. What Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Either for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Floyd Mayweather just fired off some warning shots at Charleston White, letting him know to fall back from this big Meech mess or deal with the real consequences. But you know Charleston, he ain't the type to fold, and he made it clear he ain't about to be silenced for speaking his truth. Ever since he got out of jail, Charleston has been running his mouth in interviews, and in one of them, he gave his take on the whole Big Meech and 50 Cent situation. Now, he did admit there ain't no solid proof that Big Meech snitched, but he also said 50 was right to spaz out since Big Meech and his son played him dirty by linking up with his enemies. And one of them so-called enemies? None other than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd ain't feeling what Charleston had to say, and he already made it clear, if he catches Charleston in the streets, it's up. But hold up, is Floyd really out here trying to help Big Meech and his fam bounce back? Or is he just stirring the pot to get at 50 Cent? Baby, stay locked in, cause we about to break it all down.
Let this be a perfect example on you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
Y'all, this Big Meech drama is straight up spiraling, and it's snatching everybody down with it. The latest folks caught in the crossfire? Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White. And baby, it's getting real messy. In a fresh interview, Charleston decided to chime in on the ongoing beef between Big Meech, Lil Meech, and 50 Cent. And let's just say he came with some jaw droppers. First off, he straight up said he doesn't really buy into 50 Cent's claims that Big Meech is a snitch, cause he ain't seen no official paperwork to back it up. Then he went in on folks spreading rumors that Big Meech used Tammy Cowan to set up Cuffy and the rest, saying people need to do their homework before running with that narrative.
When you do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowens took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
Then Charleston really turned up, taking 50 Cent's side and putting Big Meech and Lil Meech on blast. He straight up said he didn't blame 50 for snapping the way he did, because when nobody else, including Rick Ross, was rocking with Big Meech, 50 was the one holding it down. He got Lil Meech cleaned up, sent him to acting school on his dime, and then put him in a hit series that had millions rolling into his pockets. While Big Meech was locked up, 50 basically played the father role for Lil Meech. And according to Charleston, anybody would be heated if they did all that for someone, only for them to turn around and link up with the enemy. He called Big Meech messing with Rick Ross a straight-up betrayal, saying he and his son deserve whatever 50 throws their way as payback.
I'm looking at it from 50 position. I go get your son, and at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say he was strung out on them perks, and they like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting classes that 50 paid for. It was hard finding somebody to play the role of Big Meech, so we pick your son. 50 according to 50, he's put over $5 million into the pockets of Lil Meech and the family's, financial, over $5 million. He's helped them make. Nigga blew your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. He was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him, put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. For you to go fuck Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
Now, if y'all remember, all this drama kicked off when Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross to secure some cash after getting out of jail. And let's be real, none of this would have gone down if Lil Meech hadn't fumbled all the money 50 put in his pockets while they were working together. So when 50 found out Big Meech had gone behind his back to team up with Rick Ross, he felt played. And that's when he started calling Big Meech a snitch. Lil Meech tried to check 50 in the DMs, explaining that his pops did what he had to do because he needed the money. He was basically trying to smooth things over and get back in 50's good graces. But 50 wasn't having it. Instead, he hit him where it hurt, announcing that he was pulling the plug on the BMF series, cutting off Lil Meech's cash flow. That whole situation had folks split, because while some thought Lil Meech was right to trying to patch things up, others felt like he should have stood 10 toes down and checked 50 for coming at his pop sideways. And baby, Boosie had a whole lot to say about it.
I was like, damn, seemed like him and 50 got a, because after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, no, all y'all, I'm with my dead nigga, but I ain't like his response, but it seemed like he got a genuine love for 50 Cent or him, and from when I was reading it, like he seemed like he caught in the middle, but like he caught in the middle. That would have seemed like from me reading it, but I would have been like, you.
Right, because it's your father.
My daddy.
But let's keep it real. 50 cutting Lil Meech off is gonna hit his pockets hard because 50 was the one who put him on in the first place. You would think Big Meech and Lil Meech would at least try to sit down and talk things out with 50 to keep the show going. But nah, they went the petty route instead. Instead of making peace, they doubled down by getting even closer to 50's enemies, especially Lil Meech, who was spotted kicking it with Floyd Mayweather on multiple occasions. Both Big Meech and Lil Meech have been flooding social media with pics of them chilling with Floyd and Rick Ross these past few weeks. Lil Meech even dropped a whole set of photos from a night out at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley in Miami with both men, captioning it Real Power, which, let's be honest, felt like a straight up shot at 50. Then in another post, he shared pics of him, his pops, and Floyd at some low-key spot. More recently, he posted a video of him and Floyd sitting courtside at a Lakers game, living it up. With all this drama with 50 Cent, ain't nobody buying the idea that this wasn't intentional. You already know 50 and Rick Ross have been sworn enemies for years now. Their beef kicked off when Rose swore 50 gave him a dirty look on stage during a performance. And from that moment, it was war. They've been trading shots in songs, interviews, and wherever else they can. 50 never lets up on Rose, constantly clowning him for his past as Officer Ricky. He stays calling Ross out for faking the gangster life while secretly being a CO at heart. Back in 2015, during an interview with Tim Westwood, 50 straight up called Ross a fraud.
What about you and Rick Ross?
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. Because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm gonna do something to a correctional officer or to a police officer or anyone who's been under oath that's gonna say with no problem everything that you've said and everything that's happened immediately after, like, you notice.
And in another interview, 50 doubled down and straight up called Rick Ross irrelevant, saying he don't respect his career at all. And trust, the feeling is mutual, because Rick Ross has been saying for years that 50 ain't nothing but a big old crybaby.
You took a picture with Rick Ross? You like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you since for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit personal.
You can kind of see where all this mess is coming from. But with Floyd Mayweather, now that's the real shocker. Because once upon a time, him and 50 was tight like brothers. Now they can't stand each other. And let's be real, Floyd and 50's beef gotta be one of the messiest dramas 50's ever been caught up in. Which says a lot, because we all know 50 don't play when it comes to feuds. Back in the day, these two was inseparable, popping out everywhere together. They even graced the cover of Double XL like they was ride or die for each other. But all that changed in 2012 when Floyd got locked up on that DV charge. While he was sitting in jail, 50 stepped up trying to hold it down by managing Floyd's businesses, TMT, the Money Team, and Mayweather Promotions, cause Floyd asked him to. But what 50 wasn't expecting was just how messy them businesses was. Turns out, nothing was even registered, so 50 had to start everything from scratch. He put a whole $1 million of his own money into fixing Floyd's mess, only for Floyd to switch up when he got out of jail. Instead of matching 50's investment or paying him back, Floyd flipped the script, started accusing him of trying to take over his company. While Floyd was out here spreading lies, 50 and some others was trying to do a whole let's get Floyd back in pocket campaign, kind of like that fundraiser Rick Ross wanted to throw for Big Meech.
As he was actually going in to jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather Promotions.
Right.
Then as he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather Promotions. There's no LLC, there's no seal, it's not incorporated, it's just
a name.
Yeah,
that comes up people's mouths.
Right. See, technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. You see what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the
show.
negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says helping with Mayweather Promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together,
put it together for him. So I do TNT Promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It's like I had to negotiate a release. It was 1.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dip, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was incarcerated.
Yeah.
When he comes home, there's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign that goes on, where it's $300,000 chains being bought, buying new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you'd already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right. So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. So I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Well, I gotta ask you for it.
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face and he tell me to do that.
Now, y'all already know 50 don't play about loyalty, so he wasn't about to let Floyd get away with spinning these fake stories about him. But when 50 finally clapped back, he ended up looking like the villain. Floyd kept pushing his narrative, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a flop music career. At first, they told the media they patched things up, claiming they were back cool. But that was a lie, because their relationship only got worse. The petty reached new heights. Floyd started clowning 50 50 over his rocky relationship with his son Marquise, while 50 put Floyd on full blast for creeping with his own best friend's woman.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say that nigga.
At one point, 50 even went so far as to accuse Floyd of being tied up in the tragic situation with Earl Hayes and his wife, Jessica. 50 straight up said, "Tell everybody why you were on FaceTime when he took out Jessica and himself, because he was pressing you about messing with his wife." But just when folks thought 50 was about to ease up, he went straight for the jugular. He put Floyd on blast by daring him to read one page from Harry Potter, promising to drop $750,000 to any charity Floyd picked if he could actually get through it.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. The bucket of ice, man.
Now, Floyd tried to clap back by flexing with pictures of checks adding up to over $72 million, trying to show he was too rich to entertain 50's antics. But let's be real, he could never shake the illiterate man's allegations. So in response, Floyd hit 50 where it hurts, challenging him to step in the ring and settle their beef with some good old-fashioned hands. The streets were buzzing about a fight happening in 2014. But of course, it never went down. Fast forward to 2018, Floyd got extra petty and invited Tierra Marie, who was out here suing 50 over that revenge porn scandal, to perform at his nightclub. That was the final straw. Floyd made it real clear their friendship was dead when he hopped on IG with an open letter dragging 50. He called him a snitch, roasted his so-called failed music career, and painted him as a bitter, jealous man who couldn't even keep a decent relationship with his own son. That was the kill shot. Any scraps of brotherhood they had left, gone. So when Big Meech and Lil Meech popped out in pics hugged up with Floyd, oh, you know 50 took that as a direct slap in the face. And y'all already know, 50 don't ever let shade slide. He immediately started firing shots. In one post, he shared a video of Lil Meech chopping it up with Rick Ross and straight up clowned them, joking that Rose was probably planning to bless Big Meech with a lifetime supply of chicken wings from his franchise. And he didn't stop there. 50 went after Lil Meech's acting skills too, throwing major shade by comparing him to Michael Rainey Jr., the star of Power Book 2. Ghost. Michael had just won an NRACP award, and 50 used that moment to rub it all in. Then, to top it off, he dropped an AI-edited video putting Lil Meech on blast, making it seem like he was saying 50 tried to show him the good life, but he was too busy trying to follow in his daddy's footsteps.
Something to think about the next time you're on stage waving signs, trying to be like the only daddy you got. I understand you want to keep his name alive, but youngin', I'm trying to save you from your demise. You said it yourself. My pops was a real... Youngin', that ain't no lie. He was in the business that the system perpetuates on the side to keep us in the condition where we ain't made to survive. But you think he a god? Well, let me ask you this. Would you kill a world and save yourself? Yeah, I ain't think that was wise. Something to think about the next time y'all thugging, drinking and drugging, hard liquor y'all full of killers. Remember, hold up. I tried to give you the large picture. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up. I tried to give him the large picture. Yo, Pops wasn't no gangster.
It's a little wild how 50 is coming for Lil Meech so hard, especially when Meech ain't got nothing to do with his daddy's alleged snitching. But 50 finally aired out his side of the story after Boosie called him out for taking his frustrations out on the son instead of the father. 50 said, "I did more for Meech than anybody in his life, Boosie." That's why he responded like that. If he get locked up, I'm the first person he called. Bailed him out every time. But when I saw him laughing at his pop's post, oh, he is a snake too. He belongs with him. Then, in another post, 50 laid it all out, talking about how he got Lil Meech into rehab and even schooled him on how to manage his money. 50 said, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and his mama's relationship. I told his mama I don't want him doing drugs. He told him he used to do X like it was cool. I told her, chill on spending all your money. He told him how much money he blew. People don't even know I had to send Meech to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as hell on set, throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the Lil Ninja had whippets in his truck. I was like, what the hell is whippets? I looked it up. It's the same stuff in baby guns. Now, when someone has done that much for you and your family, the least you can do is not embarrass them by linking up with their biggest enemies and posting the pics all over social media. And this is exactly why Charleston White said Big Meech's biggest mistake was posting that clip of him and Rick Ross, and then doubling down with a video denying the snitch allegations.
Meech's biggest mistake was getting on camera with Rick Ross, running to the internet. Rick Ross was wrong for putting Big Meech out there knowing he doing bidding with 50. Rick Ross using Meech. Rick Ross using him, homie, knowing that there's a beef between me and this guy. So to do this video and then put it out there was a slap in the face to 50. And I done put everybody in position. Now, I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son, try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickbacks for that. So if he really fucking with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat. So 50 ain't wrong.
Even if there was a chance for 50 to move past all this Rick Ross drama and just focus on his BMF series, Lil Meech and his daddy completely killed that possibility when they decided to pop out with Floyd Mayweather. Now, as for Floyd, he knows exactly what's going on between Big Meech and 50. He ain't fooling nobody. He's definitely using father and son as pawns in his beef with 50. And he's so dead set on getting back at 50, he doesn't care who gets caught in the crossfire, including Charleston White. Word on the street is, Floyd's out here pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to get Charleston arrested and sent right back to jail. If true, that's some wild level of petty. But what y'all think? Y'all believe Floyd is really gonna come through for Big Meech and his son? Or is this all just a big ploy to really get under 50's skin? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay locked in for more videos like this.